Alrighty, we are jumping on the Sea Jet ferry to head to Sifnos for 4 nights. We've just got off the ferry in Sifnos and it appears like we are surrounded by mountains. I was watching on the way in and it looked incredibly mountainous. Now hopefully we've got a taxi waiting for us somewhere over there. We arrived in at Sifnos last night, ferry. We hopped off the ferry at Kamares, which I think is the port town. See the little church down there, and there's the marina. We were picked up by Georgios in taxi number 4. Lucky we booked it. There are only 8 taxis on the island, and there are a lot of people getting off the ferry. Anyway, he whisked us down to here, Platis Ialos. Maybe it was a 20-minute drive, and that's what we've woken up to this morning. He said it's the most touristic-y place on the island, and there's only 2,000 people who live on the island of Sifnos. Not the next island, but the one after that is Milos.
Kalispera.
Yes, Kalispera. It is heading towards the evening. We're going to get some dinner. We've had a lovely day in Sifnos, in Platis. That's my best attempt. You can see the town along behind us, and it sort of also runs in the other direction. We might do a spin around and look at the beach. We've spent the day pretty much having a bit of a walk and backwards and forwards from the beach.
It's been very relaxing.
It has been relaxing.
It's got the real chill feel here. There's not much else to do.
Way less busy than Naxos and Paros. Yep. And they say this is the best beach on the island. So
why go anywhere else?
Yep, we'll pop some photos on after this too, and you'll see what it's like. Going to try and find somewhere for dinner now. Tomorrow, something a little different, so stay tuned. We're just waiting at the bus stop at Platis Ialos. There's Rhonda there just chilling, and that's the beach just behind us. We're heading into the capital, which is called Apollonia, and maybe out to another little town, and then we might have a walk back. There's apparently a monastery that lots of people take photographs of, and we're going to try and find it and then walk back and have a swim. We'll see how our plan works. Alrighty, so we caught the bus from Platis Ialos and we've been dropped off in Apollonia, which is, I think, the biggest city on the island. It's in the middle of the island. I think it's the capital. We're going to wander around here for a little while, and then we're going to get a bus to Castro before we come back to Apollonia. We really are testing out the bus network today. The bus just dropped us off in the little hilltop village of Castro. Castro apparently means castle. That's what the Greek bus driver told me, and it is basically a little town. Not what you're looking at there, but as we look up these stairs here, it's going to bring us up into a little town that is just built on a cliff. Hopefully we'll get a good perspective when we get a little bit further up, but apparently it's just a network of streets, excuse my puffing, like this, that run backwards and forwards along the cliff top. We asked the bus driver to drop us off at Chrysopigi, and he dropped us at this sort of trail path that leads down towards the beach, and there's a monastery there on that headland, which is what people see in photos, and then there's this long path that heads down to the beach, and we're going to walk back to Platis Ialos from here after we have a swim. We had the bus drop us at Chrysopigi, and we went to see the monastery at Chrysopigi. You'll see that in the photos. It was stunning. We had a swim at Apokofto Beach. I wonder how I'm going with the pronunciation. And now we're walking back on one of the Sifnos trails because Sifnos is renowned for hiking trails. If the weather was a bit cooler, we would have been doing that a bit more, but it's been hot. But this is one of the trails, and it's marked by red and white signs, and it will lead us back to the town of Platis Ialos, which I think is probably only a kilometre or so down there. And that beach is calling. We caught a bus this morning from Platasialos down here to the port of Kamaras, and we're staying here for one night, and our ferry leaves tomorrow morning. It's a pretty cool little spot, lots of restaurants along there, and people have been mooring their yachts. We're just going to have a little look around the small town and then go and spend some time on the beach.
So we've been sitting at the beautiful beach at the port of Sifnos, and we can see many actually monasteries on the very top there, but there's a church up there that we want to walk to, so we found it and we're going to walk up. I don't know how many stairs, but we'll see.
Fortunately, it's not as high as some of the other ones.
So we made it to the top, and it's not as hard as I thought, but this view up the top gives a very good perspective of this lovely little town of Sifnos and the harbour here. We were wondering how we would be able to get a good overview of it, but I think this is it. And you can see the sharp mountains, the dramatic mountains, and the valley through there would seem the only road through to the other side and the other towns. And a lovely little chapel.
Good evening.
Kalispera.
We are coming to you live from the port town of Kamaris,
yes,
on the island of Sifnos, and we are having a night in Kamaris, ready to catch the ferry to Milos in the morning. You can see as we scan out here, that's where the ferry comes in. It's in this lovely little bay with amazing clear water. There's the town behind us.
The sun's just set, so the mountains behind look a little bit orange. They were really interesting when we came in on the boat. They were very dramatic.
They were dramatic, yes.
They were very prominent. They were very different to what we've
we literally
experienced.
Felt surrounded by mountains, didn't we?
Yeah,
And we've kind of felt surrounded by mountains all around Sifnos.
Yeah.
Should you put Sifnos on your bucket list? I think
Absolutely.
so. Yeah.
It's different from the busier towns. It's quieter. It's almost, it hasn't been invaded by tourists as such yet.
Like us.
Don't come.
And when we say quiet, we mean apart from the band that's playing in the background there. But it's we were only on Naxos and Paros, and they're not, I guess, as busy as Santorini and Mykonos, those islands. But compared to that, Sifnos is very peaceful.
Really calm, really lovely feeling.
We had 3 nights in Platasialos, and that was very serene.
How do you spell that?
Very peaceful. I have no idea. I only know how to say it because the taxi driver taught me.
Talking about bus, were you talking about buses?
No, I was talking about taxis.
Talking about buses, I mean, if you go to any of these Greek towns, I know tempted to hire a car.
Yeah, which is good too.
That's all great, but get on a bus, because those bus drivers, they can drive. I mean,
wow.
All credit to them. They are amazing.
They're very good. Yeah.
And you get to see the Greek, the really Greek way of the way they go about things. I don't.
You also get to see the edge of the cliff as they drive along there.
It's quite terrifying.
Yeah.
And yet relaxing at the same time.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
So anyway, the bus network was good. We got to cover a bit of territory on the bus network. We walked a little bit, we swam a lot, and I would say Sifnos was an amazing place to
It was
visit.
really good, really nice.
Yeah.
And we weren't sure how we'd go because it's quieter, but we have filled the time really easily and could have stayed more days.
It's quite amazing. We've loved it. Yeah. And I think we should sign out. We're going to catch the ferry tomorrow. We'll come to you from Milos.
From Milos. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
So stay tuned. Bye.
Yasos.
you.